Hello friends, this is Hedda. Today I am setting up my bullet journal for May. I'm so excited to show you this theme because I think it turned out super nice. A couple of my patrons over on Patreon challenged me to use bolder colors, and I hope that this theme qualifies for that. I actually asked you guys over on Instagram to guess my May theme based on the colors I used, and only one person got kind of close, but here it is, the big reveal. I've been toying with the idea of a celestial theme for a while now, and I finally made it happen. It's probably not a theme that screams spring, but it is bright and colorful in its own way, and I did manage to get some greenery in there. I wanted to play with line art and very simple coloring, and I took inspiration from some lovely ladies that I'm following on Instagram, like pages by Amy and Julianne Doodles. In many of my setups, I use a brush pen to do the line art, but in this setup, I went for regular fine liners in different sizes instead. The illustration on my cover page is partly inspired by T Rads on Instagram, who draws these gorgeous celestial goddesses for tattoos and such, and it was their illustrations that made me want to draw a goddess on the cover page rather than just sticking to moons and stars and stuff. I know this video is about May and all, but I made this video in April obviously, and April is a very special month to me. Not only has it been 2 whole years since I started posting bullet journal videos kind of consistently to YouTube, but it's also been a whole year since I started my Patreon. And to commemorate this, I opened up a new tier on my Patreon offering physical rewards, which is very exciting. And for the rest of April, I have this kind of special offer where you get an extra vinyl sticker on top of the usual reward if you pledge to the Charles tier. So that's exciting. I'm super happy to have started my Patreon a year ago. It's taught me so much. It's made me more confident in my art. It's made me explore new ways to make art and also new ways to portray my art, and I've made a lot of friends. My patrons gave me the confidence to open my sticker and art print shop, and I'm super grateful for that. It kind of gave me the push that I needed to start building a little business for myself. So yeah, check out my Patreon if you'd like. I have a whole year of experience now, so I think year number 2 is going to be even bigger and better. Anyway, this whole setup took a really long time to make, partly because I intentionally made my sketches very intricate and detailed and there were a lot of lines to draw, and partly because I draw at the same speed as a sloth would if it could draw. I had around 3 hours of footage of actual drawing, which doesn't even include the sketching, the color swatches, and just everything else that goes into making one of these videos. Sometimes I just sit around for 5 minutes. Even so, the drawings aren't that complicated, and it's mostly made up of stars, moons, and clouds with some greenery and of course the goddess. At this point in the process, I had finished the line art, and a part of me kind of wanted to leave it like this and just have a month without any colors, but I think that's just because finished line art is quite nice to look at, and it's always scary to start adding color to something that you think already looks quite nice as it is. But I stayed true to my plan and I colored in all the shapes on the inside of the line. I purposefully didn't color everything inside of each shape, but rather went along the inside of the lines to just add a hint of color. I think that it's really an interesting style, but also B, it's a way to kind of mute down the brighter colors that I used here. I usually don't mix this many different colors in my setup, so it was a bit scary to mix these like dark blue, yellow, green, and even pink like this. I used a mix of Crayola Super Tips, Zebra My Liners, and Tombow Dual Brush Pens for the coloring, just kind of picking the colors that fit the best. I felt pretty good about the yellow and blue, but I was a little concerned about how the green would look in the middle of all this. I think I actually like it a lot, and I should probably be a little less conservative in my color choices and a bit more adventurous when putting together color palettes. The pink was a bit of an afterthought, but I've seen worse things in my life. I think that all in all, it doesn't look so bad. Oh, and the very last thing that I did was to draw a little squiggly outline around the entire illustration, which is something I tried doing on one of the cherry blossom branches for April, but I decided I didn't like it and moved on with my life. But this time though, I thought it would look better, and I think it does. I really like how it makes the whole illustration pop a little bit, I guess. And that was basically it for the cover page. I like that it has bolder colors, but it's still pretty simple and still quite bright due to all of the white space. I also really like the stars and constellations that I drew in the clouds, even though those clouds really killed my wrist towards the end of the setup. Moving on to the monthly dashboard and calendar spread, this is the simplest spread that I am making for this month. I decided to be adventurous and put the calendar on the right page instead of the left page this month. You know, it's all about the little things. I mostly left the left page blank since I'll be filling it with to-do lists and things I need to remember and get done. I know that's probably not that exciting to see, but it's kind of what I need for the month of May. This spread definitely has mostly blue colors with just a hint of yellow and green. Don't ask me why I decided to make the moon green, it was just an experimental decision. I think it looks quite alright though. I have this small one-page calendar because, well, let's be real, there aren't really any events to keep track of these days except for birthdays that we can't celebrate anyway. So yeah, basically my calendar is for boring stuff like bills that are due, tax and VAT stuff that are due, shop updates, dinners with my parents, and birthdays, basically. Okay, only the first two things I mentioned are boring things. Okay, so I'm not 100% sure what to call this theme, but I'm leaning towards just calling it celestial because it's not really occult and it's not really an astrology theme either. I know very little of astrology stuff and I don't really care about that kind of stuff, but what I do find fascinating is ancient myths about gods and goddesses, and when I looked up where the name of this month comes from, it turns out May is named after the goddess of Maya, who was an ancient Greek goddess. Not that it really matters, but it's a little fun fact. Oh, and I wanted to say thank you to everyone who joined my live stream last week because that was a lot of fun. It was my very first live on YouTube, so I was very nervous and didn't really know how it would work out, but it was so nice to chat with you guys and really surreal that people from all over the world were tuning in at the same time. So thank you so much for joining me last weekend. It really warmed my heart. I put some washi tape in the bottom right corner, but I'm not completely satisfied with that solution, so I might switch them out with something else eventually. But that's what's so great about washi tape. It's very easy to remove and it doesn't leave a trace. The last thing I did again was to outline everything with the squiggly lines and draw lots of stars and sparkles and then called it good. I really like what the sparkles add to the page because it makes it feel more coherent. It kind of binds it all together. So if you're ever unsure about what to add to a spread, just add some little sparkles and stars because it really does make all the difference. Okay, so I have a confession to make. Last month I tried making a time tracking spread instead of a focus or habit tracker spread, and I had big plans. It was going to be so helpful and so great, but no, it turns out it was not great and I abandoned it pretty quickly. So this month I'm going back to the habit tracker and I'm also making a little playlist spread again because I enjoy those and they're fun to look back on in a year. There's a lot going on in the spread, and if the calendar spread is the simplest spread of the setup, this third spread is the busiest. I did the line art of the habit tracker spread first, which has room for 7 habits that I want to focus on in May, as well as a sun and lots of clouds, of course. At this point my wrist was getting pretty tired from all the drawing, and I should have put on my wrist brace, but I was deep into the creative process while also listening to an audiobook, so there was just no way to stop me. I actually really liked how the spread looked without any colors, so there must be something about line art that just really speaks to me. The playlist spread on the right side ended up missing a header, but that's kind of okay because I know what it is anyway, and besides there was just no room for it, so I didn't want to squeeze it in anywhere. I had to look up so many hand references on Pinterest to be able to draw the hands on top of the right page to look semi-realistic. So I hope that we can all appreciate that, because that was a lot of work. If I have one regret about the spread though, it's that I made the moon yellow and not green. I should have stuck to my guts and made it green, but I kind of chickened out and made it yellow to make it fit in better, but that was a mistake. Not that it matters that much, but it bothers me when I look at the spread now that there's no green at all in this spread, so I might have to sneak in something green later, or just make a very green weekly spread to make up for it or something. I think I will really enjoy my May spreads, even though the color scheme is a lot busier than what I normally go for. I'm really happy I tried it, so thank you so much to my patrons for daring me to try something different. I also want to say thank you so much for watching and commenting on my videos. It honestly makes my day when someone takes the time to write a comment or send me a message on Instagram and tell me about their experiences or what they thought about a spread or a video. I got to chat a bit with some of you during my live stream last week, and that was a lot of fun. I'm proud of how my videos have evolved over these 2 years, and I'm also proud of how my journaling kits and stickers have evolved over the past year that I've been on Patreon. So yeah, just wanted to say thank you for being here with me. It means a lot, and you're the best, and I love you and all that. Before I leave you, I want to tell you that I know that things are hard right now because I'm going through it as well. What I always try to tell myself is that either it will get better or it will pass. So I really hope that that's something that you can keep in mind as well. Whether you're having a great week or a bad one, I hope you've been able to enjoy this video, maybe get a little break from daily life. And as always, if you want to see more, make sure that you subscribe, maybe turn on notifications so that you know when I post something new. And if you did watch all the way to the end, please include a star or sun or moon emoji in your comment so that I know that you watched the whole video. And that's all for now. Enjoy this little flip through at the end. I hope you're all having a lovely day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!